Hey guys, I want to do a quick reteach of measuring since we've been away for a while and haven't seen it recently. And I'm going to start with the standard measuring tools. Now, when I say standard, that means what we recognize as measuring tools. A non standard would be something like your hands or erasers or, paper clips. Those are things that you can measure with as well, but those are considered non standard. We're going to use standard measurements. And those are the tools like, what's this called? That's right, a ruler. And a little bit longer than a ruler is a yardstick, right? And even larger than that is our measuring tape. So let's talk about our ruler, shall we? We know that it has two sides to it. One has little tiny numbers, and the other one has larger numbers. The larger side is usually marked, it'll say on here, inches. And the little tiny numbers, lots all squished together, those are your centimeters. We do a lot in inches. We do not use centimeters as often as we do inches. Now, let's talk about our ruler. How many inches are in this ruler? Did you count them? 12. You're right, 12. And 12 inches equals 1 foot. That's right. Now, not the foot on the bottom of your thing. It's just 1 foot. 12 inches equals 1 foot. So let's talk about our handy dandy little yardstick here. Looks like we've got quite a few inches in here. It looks like it goes to the 12, then it goes for 12 more, and then it goes for 12 more. So how many feet are in a yardstick? A yardstick? That's right, 36 inches, 3 feet. 36, 12 plus 12 is 24, plus 24 more is 36, 3 feet. Now, when we're going to measure something like our eraser, we want to make sure we use the right tool. And of course, the right tool for measuring that would be a ruler. Same with highlighter, glue stick, even scissors, and in most cases, books. Once you start to get larger than that, though, you've got to think larger. If you're measuring maybe the little whiteboard behind Mrs. Heck's table, you could probably use the yardstick for that. You might not have to go great big with that yet. Maybe if you're seeing how high your bicycle is, you could probably use a yardstick for that. But when you're like looking at a door or a car or a basketball court, you are going to want to use your measuring tape. Every time I open that, it's upside down, friends. Measuring tape. That's what you want to use because that goes really long. And if you look at our measuring tape, when you got to the 12 inches, do you see this black? It tells you it's 1 foot. So if you're using a measuring tape, you can easily go by inches, or you can, every time you get to one of those black things, it tells you how many feet it is. And again, you're going to want to use this if you're measuring a room or you're measuring a door. Actually, my husband uses it all the time. He doesn't use rulers, but you get it. All right, now let's talk about where we start when we're measuring. Now, if I was just going to measure this glue stick, I would lay that on the end that starts the edge, not on the one, friend, on the edge. And if I lay that on the edge, can you see how long that is? 4 inches. You're right, it's 4 inches. I could even lay it on there and see. Can you see it? Yeah. Okay. So I want to lay it on the end. Let me do a highlighter. Let's see what the highlighter is. Ooh, that looks like it's 5 inches. 5 inches. And what about this lovely eraser? Now, this is a little pointy thing. That goes over the 2. So it's more like 2. And remember, halfway between the 2 and the 3 is 2.5. So I would write that as 2 space 1/2. So it makes my little half sign. Let's try this pencil, see what we're doing there. Ooh, that looks like that is not, let me see if I can get it up without getting it blurry. It's not 7 and it's not 8. It's in between the 7 and 8, so it's 7.5. Yep, that's 7.5. And let's just look at the scissors. Same thing. Can you see it? Looks like those are 7. Guess could be 7.5. Okay. Now, one thing I want to point out. On assessments, you know darn well that if you don't have this ruler in your hand and they're showing you the ruler, that sometimes they just go right in the middle and they'll lay whatever it is down in the middle. And so like they might start like this and say how many inches long it is. Well, you're not over at the 0 over here, so you can't use the 0. You've got to count how many inches there are between them, okay? So if I laid this here and it starts on the 4, I have to count up to the 9. That's correct. So, and I know 9 minus 4 is 5. So if I lay this down, it should be 5 inches, and that's correct. All right, so don't get tricked. Don't get tricked by that. Actually, Mrs. Heck put some on the assessment like that. So, since that's how they usually are. All right, I think that we have covered our measuring. Now remember, they're going to ask you to estimate. Just be honest. When you look at this, do you estimate it to be 20 inches? No. Do you estimate it to be exactly right? No, you don't have to. It's an estimate. You're using your knowledge, okay? All right.